Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, live from Hyde 49 coming at you with another OUSA Dota League Season 1 shoutcast. We have Game 2 from Team Tom Young Kun up against Bambi Rising. Game 1 was a fantastic game played by Bambi Rising. They had a lot of rotations happening, really showcasing the power of Bambi on his favorite hero, the Visage. Just loading in right now. Yoshi, can you still hear me?
Yep.
What were your thoughts on the last game?
I think the Shadow Fiend was quite a greedy pick that didn't work out. Overall, maybe a little bit outdated, the TYK play.
Yeah, it was also kind of showing you that power, that Centaur Warrunner. I mean, he was having an absolute ball of a time up in that top lane. What heroes do you reckon would shut down that Centaur Warrunner in a like 1v3 situation that should ever happen again?
You probably need 3 stuns if you really want to shut him down, but I think, yeah, either have 3 stuns or really powerful burst damage in your support.
Yeah, so we've got first ban Ember Spirit and Slark again. I mean, I know you guys hate playing against Ember Spirit, but I mean, why always the Slark first bans?
For us, like, I think actually because one of our scripts we actually played against the Slark, and it was a really hard game because of the Slark, so we just kind of hated fighting the hero, so we banned Slark quite a bit because of that. But
all from one game, huh?
Yeah.
Because I know you guys also...
It's a very annoying hero to deal with.
Yeah, you guys also hate that Nyx Assassin. I mean, the only time I've seen you guys play against Nyx Assassin was one of the games I cast for you guys yesterday. And even then, that was...
Nyx Assassin is very strong against like intelligence core heroes, and yeah, generally a bit annoying as well because it's supposed to keep buying sentries, but... Yeah,
that invisibility attack's what we always like to talk about. Mirana, first pick coming up from Tom Young Kun. Very versatile hero, can go in any lane. You can throw her into mid, you can throw her into an off lane, you can throw her into an aggressive tri lane with 2 heroes that can set up her arrow, and she will just rain havoc. So good pick out coming from them. Bambi Rising still sticking to that gun, still sticking with that second secondary ban of that lone Joe, the respect ban. First pick Rubick. Curry played a fantastic Rubick in the last game, was always able to steal that Chain Frost, really turned around any team fight potential that Tom Young Kun had by throwing that Chain Frost right back at them. But as a first pick, do you think Rubick really justifies being a first pick, secondary pick kind of hero?
Probably not actually.
Yeah, in this case it just seems like Bambi is playing to their strengths. Since, I mean, the biggest drawback of Rubick is he's a pretty defensive support hero, especially in the tri lane. Dragon Knight as a secondary pick, most likely will be going to the mid lane. Bit interesting. I mean, the biggest advantage of Dragon Knight in the mid lane is you can just spam out that Breathe Fire, do a bit of harassment as well as farm, and once you hit level 6, start pushing down towers. If you get a Shadow Blade, your ganking power goes up dramatically with that EDF, increasing your Shadow Tail, your bash range to 400, as well as that 150 first damage proc coming out from Shadow Blade. But as far as...
10 seconds remaining.
Chen?
Oh,
I see.
I think Bambi's Chen is really strong, and I think they will pick it with the Dragon Knight to have a really strong pushing lineup.
Ah, right. Bambi's retarded SC2 Grandmaster level Michael skills, huh? Because, I mean, we saw in Game 1, his Visage was out of this world. He was able to secure a lot of kills for his team, able to create space, able to use his familiars to always get those drops off. Tom Young Kun sticking with that Bane Elemental. I mean, this time they've got the Sleep into Arrow combination. So for the third bans, maybe they might go for that Shadow Fiend ban. Oh, hold on, just a message from Kin Killer. Actually, Yoshi, do you happen to know the team captain name for Psycho?
No, I don't.
5 seconds remaining.
I'll have to shoot Henry a message then.
Reserve time.
So they're dipping into their reserve time for this ban. If they're a bit prepared, if they research their opponents, they could go for that Chen ban. They might choose to ban out that Visage again, and they saw the power of that Visage in that last game. Bit of deliberation coming on. I mean, we saw from the last game that Tom Young Kun, they played a good game of Dota, but it seemed they were playing a year behind in terms of their picks, in terms of their meta, and that's what really served as their downfall. They went for a few really greedy pickups like that Shadow Fiend. whereas Radiant they seem to have adapted to the metagame. Weaver's their third ban, huh?
Dire team ban.
I mean, good hero too, ban. He offers a lot of aggressive power. He can go 1v1 in an off lane. He could also go in an aggressive tri lane with that Sakuchi and with that Gemini attack. It really increases the time on target you have when you're attacking a hero, as with that high mobility. But in terms of a third ban, that could turn to bite them in the ass if they do pick up that Chen. Third ban coming out from Bambi Rising. What hero would you like to see Bambi Rising ban out in this situation there, Yosh?
Radiant team
I'm not
ban.
too sure actually. Maybe something that goes well with Bane and Mirana, I guess. So probably AA, but like I said, no team really runs AA besides us.
Yeah, no one else seems to have cottoned on to Chilling Touch being OP. We've got Nikes as that third ban. Once again, not really a big fan of that Nikes. He does offer a lot in an aggressive tri lane. And that could mean that the Mirana can go into the middle lane. And also could be indicative of a Chen pickup. I mean, Nikes is a great counter to Chen since he can infest one of your creeps. Says thanks for the heal. But beyond that, fourth ban coming up from Tom Yankun.
I really feel like Bambi Rising will pick up a 10 if TYK don't ban it. They haven't banned it, so...
Yeah, we've got a Sanking ban. Great support hero combination, especially with that Rubick. Rubick could use that telekinetic lift to set up for Sanking's Burrow Strike since at the early levels, very low range. But other than that, extremely powerful support hero. Especially with the recent change to the damage ticks in Sandstorm. Like a Crystal Maiden, he could go into the jungle, pop Sandstorm, to use that to farm some creeps, get a little bit of golden EXP going.
5 seconds remaining.
Fourth ban coming out from Bambi Rising. They really haven't dipped much into their reserve time, just hanging around. And the Clockwork ban. Pretty solid offlane hero. Really did a lot of work in that last game, although the rest of his team wasn't able to really capitalize on the advantage he brought. But the chef annoyance factor that he brings in, with the cogs being able to push you back, you go very well in a 1v1 or in a 1v3 situation. And with their third pickup, let's see if they might go for that Chen. Ooh, Batrider.
Radiant team pick.
So, most likely be seeing a Batrider in the off lane, Dragon Knight in the middle lane, and the last two heroes for their tri lane are still under wraps. With that recent nerf to Batrider's base attack damage, he has declined a lot in the middle lane, but as an off lane hero, he still is very fearsome. Sven pickup over for Tom Yankun. Do you think this will be a carry Sven, or do you think this will be a support Sven, Yosh?
I think it should be a carry Sven. I don't think Sven works very well as a support. I think even running Mirana as a support is better if you want to try and lane those three heroes.
Because, I mean, we talked about how you could shut down that Centaur War in the offlane, triple stuns, well, there you have it. Sven recently has his base armor buffed up to 5, so there you go. Chen pickup, so Yoshi, you're right in the money for that one. So Bambi the Retired Unicorn showing off his perfect Michael skills once again. Does he play Meepo at all by any chance? Because I would love to see a Meepo in the ODL.
I think he was telling me that he was going to run a Meepo support, but I think he was trolling me.
Well, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. I guess with Earthbind having an increased cast point in the latest patch, it's not too shabby, but most likely, yeah, you want to see Meepo in that carry position. I know Dumble D from Horseman of the Ruckus, during one of their scrims they casted, they played Meepo as a tri-lane farmer. Got that. Oh, we've got an Abbadon pickup, so we've got, looks like a Mirana mid, Sven, Bane, and Abbadon in the tri-lane. Or could it possibly be an off-lane Abbadon? I know it's possible. He's not too bad at it, but it's not the most optimal pickup.
10 seconds remaining.
I can't really read TYK drop that.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest advantage coming up from Abbadon is the fact that if your carry, or if a hero gets caught up and gets stunned, you can shield them. He's one of my favorite heroes for that reason. He provides a get out of jail free card. Forces you to have to use stuns, use nukes, use damage to deal with them, but he's got that borrowed time, so he says, no, fuck you. I'm back in action. Big drawback with that Abbadon pick, though, is especially against the Rubick, is if he steals either Miscoil or the Aphotic Shield, both of them are great spells for him to steal, but there's nothing Abbadon can do against that. Darksphere is their 5th ban. Bit interesting. I mean, Mirana can go into all 3 lanes. Sven most likely will be their tri-lane farmer, and Abbadon could potentially do a 1v1 off lane, although Batrider would have a huge advantage against him. I guess Aphotic Shield does purge him of that sticky napalm debuff.
10
but
seconds remaining.
Other than that, we most likely want to be seeing him in that tri-lane.
5 seconds remaining.
Tommy and Kuhn, they know
what they're going for, the Abbadon counter Batrider.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we like to talk about. But once Batrider picks up 4-star as well as that blink dagger, he can jump out of range before Abbadon can do anything, unless Abbadon also has a 4-star. So we'll see how it goes. We've got a Drow Ranger 5th ban. Herod's been seeing a lot more action recently with that change to her silence, giving that pushback. Really good in early push strats just because she can right-click towers down. For the carry, I mean, it most likely it'll be a 2-1-2, just because I have that Chen in that jungle, so Rubick will be a defensive support hero, coupled with maybe somebody with a bit of early game push. We might see... Yeah, I know you guys have been playing Lycan a lot. Yeah, Juggernaut also would be a pretty good pickup. He's a bit safer than the Lycan. But Lycanthrope has been doing a lot of work recently.
Reserve time.
Starting to dip into their reserve time. Lycan would also synergize really well with that Chen, that Hell providing that extra damage for those creeps to push down towers. And the fact that he has unhindered mobility during his ultimate form can prove to be a bit of a pain in the ass, especially against that Bane. If he decides to go for that Necro book as well, can be a huge pain in the ass against Bane Elementals. If Bane decides to sleep anybody, you could always micro one of your wolves, one of your Necro illusions, images to go for it. And they've gone for that Luna. Very standard
Radiant team pick.
Carry hero. Up against an aggressive tri-lane though, could be interesting. We've got a Brewmaster. So Brewmaster mid up against that DK, Mirana in that off lane, Bane Elemental Sven and Abbadon in an aggressive tri-lane up against Rubick and that Luna. Batrider up in the off lane. Should be pretty even Batrider against Mirana, since Mirana always can leap out, throw out that arrow if he gets a bit too far forward. What are your thoughts on this lineup there, Yoshi?
Prepare for battle.
I like the Brewmaster pickup actually. They actually ran it a lot last year, and I was kind of wondering whether they took it this year.
Brewmaster has received two significant buffs in the latest patch. The first and foremost being the fact that his ult duration cooldown has been reduced by 40 seconds at all levels, and the second most important one being the fact that Blink Dagger no longer costs any mana. Brewmaster's biggest weakness as a hero is the fact that he has a very low mana pool, means he has to go for that bottle or the arcane boots to sustain himself. If he has something like, with the Blink Dagger mana cost being completely gone, he can choose to rush that Blink, cast a lot of damage. And we've got that carry Sven. Sven with 5 base armor. It's a huge buff for him. He started out with the magic one, which I'm unsure of as a item pickup, but nonetheless, Sven having 5 base armor is a huge buff to him. Really increases his EHP. And Dragonite up against the Pandarean Brewmaster. Who would you give the advantage to in this case, Yoshi?
Probably Panda, I would say. But we'll have to see. I think it's quite even.
Yeah, because I mean, the Boloko Fire Breath harassment is very effective against a lot of heroes, and Brewmaster has to get a bit closer in order to land his clap.
Yeah, but his clap does a lot of damage as well, and he can get right clicks in after he hits the Dragonite with the clap.
Yeah, with that negative 55% attack speed and movement speed snare, he always will get a few hits, and the creep wave's also hitting him. But Dragonite with that early point up in Dragon's Blood at level 4 would be pretty tanky to that, so we'll see how we go. Looks like both sides have chosen to dodge the tri-lane. So we've got that defensive tri-lane with that Abbadon and with that Sven. The biggest drawback with Abbadon is like that Lich, he can't really roam and gank. He provides a lot of defensive power, a lot of rotation power coming in if your mid-hero gets ganked. But he can't actually gank himself. All he does is provide defensive capabilities for another hero. So that could be his biggest drawback. We see a lack of roaming power coming out. I mean, the Bane can rotate in. He could go in for that sleep on the mid lane. But other than that, not an awful lot of rotations coming out. Whereas in contrast, Rubick always has that telekinetic lift, which also has that throwback distance as well. Especially with that Dragon Knight, gives him an extra stun, can throw him up into the high ground. They stagger their stuns perfectly, gives them a good lockdown duration against them. And Batrider hanging out very defensively, starting with a bottle. I'm actually not too sure about the bottle pickup. What are your thoughts on Batrider starting with that bottle there, Yoshi?
I think that means that he's trying to go into the jungle soon and abandon this off lane.
Right, so he just wants to grab that level 2, get that point up in Napalm, and then abandon the off lane. See, he's actually hanging around the jungle right now. Bobble already picked up on Dragon Knight, so he's off to a good start. From what the spectators in chat are saying, Tommy and Kun have a fantastic Panda player. Batrider is caught a little bit out of position, but with that Firefly, he should be fine. He's got flying movement. Nothing really to worry about. Where do you reckon First Blood will be most likely to occur? Because, I mean, I think Panda against the DK should be pretty even.
I think it's quite hard for any team to kill any of the lanes because I mean Panda versus DK is quite a passive matchup. There's only 2 heroes at top versus the Mirana, and yeah, they've got an Abbadon who doesn't really do much in the way of catching heroes. So
yeah, we see him actually chosen to get a secondary skill point up in Curse of Avernus.
oh, here we go, Stormbolt lines up.
Yeah, Stormbolt, Curse of Avernus hit, but Batrider should be fine. Interesting, he's chosen to go in for that Curse of Avernus instead of that Miscoil at level 2. I guess he knows that he won't really be needing to miscoil all too much in the early stages against that Batrider, so he wants to go for those extra right clicks in case he captures him out of position, just to bully him in the lane a bit. DD picked up by the Brewmaster, wasn't able to bottle it unfortunately, but is able to use that skill a lot of CS. He's sitting at 12 for 1, great CS lead. Dragon Knight already got boots on him, he'll be flying that out in the courier when he can. Luna once again is off to a good start. We'll see if she chooses to go for the same build she did before. A bit of a dive attempt happening on the Batrider. Never mind, the Apholic Shield misses. You have to have vision with Apholic Shield in order for it to do damage. Could Chen choose to turn around? Throws up the Stormbolt. Never mind, Batrider overextended. He's going down. That Apholic Shield's going to pop, and First Blood goes over to the Abbadon. He's going to go down to that tower. Right click. Bit unfortunate. Pushed a bit too far forward. Should have backed away immediately once that Apholic Shield popped. But nonetheless, First Blood goes in favor of the Radiant side. Do you think this Chen will be rotating for ganks at all? Do you think this will be more of a passive farming Chen, get that fast mech up, then go for those early pushes and teamfights? That right, a little bit caught in a position. Goes in for that sleep. Spends out of mana, so he can't follow up that stun. Yeah, he should be fine. What are your thoughts on the Chen? Do you think he'll be aiming to go for...
When we scrim against these guys and they pick the Chen, I think they're quite passive with it, so I think he'll farm a lot.
That magic wand pickup working wonders for Sven. I did question getting it at the very beginning, but I guess he knew he was going to be up against that Batrider offlane. Is able to use that to make sure he always has mana for his stuns. Rune Race happening in the bottom lane. Dragon Knight's actually, he didn't have mana for that stun. Panda could have gone for that clap, but nonetheless he picks up the invisibility rune. Uses the invisibility rune, drinks a sip of the bottle,
That's not gonna hold.
and rotates back over into the middle lane. Mirana's having a pretty good start. She's choosing to max out that Starstorm. She's got boots up. Rotation coming out from Rubick. He's going to be able to land that telekinetic lift. Never mind, just uses that Fade Bolt, eats an arrow to the face, eats a double Starstorm, and backs away before he gets hit by the Lucent Beam. Batrider actually goes down the bottom lane. Did he go a bit too far forward and eat that Stormbolt to the face again?
I actually missed that one as well, but I think basically the Batrider is making a few mistakes here in this offlane. I don't think he should be dying to this.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of kill power coming out. I mean, beyond that stun, there's no other form of lockdown unless Bane happens to catch him out with the sleep as well. Do you think he should hang around the offlane, or do you think he should sack the lane and go into the jungle at this point?
I think actually going into the jungle is not really an option with the Chen there, so...
Yeah, that is true. It's a bit greedy having both the Bat as well as the Chen. It means that the Batrider has to hang around the offlane. And it's a bit surprising he hasn't placed the safety ward. I mean, we were talking about the power of that safety ward in the last game. Really helped enable... Miscall thrown out to get that CS there. Which really safeguarded that clockwork in the early stages of the game. Bit surprising that his supports didn't pull him a ward to throw down.
Yeah,
Looks like he's going for a kill attempt on that Sven. Very unwise. He knows that the Bane is around. He knows that the Abbadon is hanging around. Eats that Stormbolt to the face. But I don't think they can turn around for a kill attempt on this. It's going to eat a few more sticky napalms. Wow, it could possibly be a kill attempt right now. With those... Never mind. With that Warcry, yeah, Abbadon's coming back in. He's got that miscall. He's got that Aphodic Shield to purge off all debuffs. And Batrider once again is caught way out of position. It's going to get slept. Going to eat a Stormbolt to the face. Aphodic Shield's going to pop. And he's going down. Brain Sap coming out from that Bane Elemental. Playing way too aggressively when he just has to hang back. Leads some EXP. Dragon Knight with a Bracer on his career. Do you think he'll be going for that Treads into Drums, or do you think he'll be just picking up a casual Bracer en route to that Shadow Blade?
I think it should be a drum, but I'm actually not quite sure why he picked up the Bracer first as opposed to going target.
Kill attempt happening in the middle lane. Throws out that Primal Split. Throws out that EDF as well. Looks like 5,200 dead Bambis might go down. That Fire Spirit is about to go down. And never mind, it looks like a level 1 Pandarean Brewmaster ult has been wasted. That's that power of that DK passive armor. Not enough damage. He's actually pushed a bit too far forward, and Pandarean Brewmaster's going to go down. He's got that brief fire to finish him off. Good recognition coming out from that DK, knowing that he might overextend, knowing the duration of that Pandarean Brewmaster ult, popping that EDF in anticipation of that wearing off in case he happens to be too far forward, and being able to throw out that 400 range stun to lock him in place for the tower, and following up that fire breath.
Yeah, that was actually quite a big mistake by the Brewmaster.
Yeah, that level 1 Brewmaster ult should always be used to secure a kill. I mean, otherwise it really shuts down your momentum. Bit of chat coming out from the spectators. We noticed that we've got 3 out of the 5 Blink players over there. Where is Z and DDY at? Just out of curiosity.
I have no idea.
Figure they're carrying on with their lives without playing a bit of Dota. First push attempt coming out with that Chen rotation. He's level 5.5. Once he's got 2.1k, so he's almost got enough for that mechanism. Huge pickup on the Chen. Abbadon's hanging around.
Wasted a glyph here as well.
Yeah. Glyph was wasted as well. He's picked up. There we go. So you see that. I think Chen must have been doing a bit of stacking earlier for him. Or has he been doing that this entire time?
I think Chen like stacks as part of his farming routine, so I think it's okay.
Yeah. In case he does pick up that Wildkin, he did have one earlier.
By that rider.
Flatmate Jamie hanging around the backhand. This Batrider offlane hasn't really been working out too well for him. I mean, he's just at level 6, but... Oh no, he's about 600 gold off his blink dagger, so if he does hang around a bit more time in the jungle and gets that blink over in the top lane. Sleep into arrow, into Starstorm. Wasn't a double Starstorm, unfortunately. Luna throws out that Eclipse, turns around. Unfortunate, wasn't able to get a kill on that Bane. Bane just barely survives. Eclipse wasted over in the middle lane. Huge action coming out. Lasso was thrown out. Pandy caught out of position. Throws out the Aphelic Shield. Throws out that Mystic Coil. Mirana ult keeps him safe. Cuckoo Pang is going in. He's out for blood. He's just popped his Rambo mode. Mystic Coil thrown out on the Batrider. And the Abbadon goes a bit too far forward. Looks like he'll be the sacrifice. He doesn't have level 6. Never mind, he just hit level 6 if he skills it. No, he wasn't able to skill it in time. Always learn your hotkeys for scaling abilities. That would have saved him. But a lot of action happening in the middle lane. Panda choosing to go for phase boots. Mechanism up on Bambi. That looks like another tower is going to get pushed down. Great plays coming up from Bambi, the retarded unicorn. He's got that troll warlord, so he's able to use that to summon skeletons. He's got mechanism up. He's got his ultimate. Bambi's EDF wears off. Looks like that arrow was cancelled by that sleep. Throws out Hand of God. Has that. Never mind. Doesn't have enough mana for his mech. 5,200 dead Bambi. He's taking a lot of damage. He goes down to the Mist Coil from the Abbadon. Cuckoo Pang caught out of position. Bit too far forward. Throws out the Aphelic Shield. Is slept up. Abbadon now has his ult. His ult pops prematurely from that Firefly damage. Primal Split thrown out. Batrider goes down. Caught out of position. Luna is cycloned up. Bambi doesn't have boots, so he's taking a lot of damage. Abbadon's hanging around. He wants to get off one more Aphelic Shield. Forced to pop that mech. Bambi's actually trapped by the Pandas. Great microplay coming up for him. Fire Spirit goes down. Wears off. Doesn't have enough mana for one more clap. Looks like Luna's going to be fine, but Chen goes down.
I don't know if you saw that, but just now when the Dragon Knight was nightmare over here,
Yep.
the Chen was trying to send him back home, but he clicked it on the creep, so there was just like a misclick.
Oh, I thought he clicked it on him, but it was cancelled by the sleep. That makes a lot more sense, because I saw Sven waving his arms around, so I knew that he'd casted the send back. But that makes a lot more sense. A bit of a misplay coming out. Very messy fight. Just going to do a quick golden EXP check. In terms of EXP, it's actually almost even. Just a slight little advantage in favor of Bambi Rising. In terms of gold, 3,000 gold lead. That's purely as a result of that Chen, as well as the 2 towers that I've gotten. And Flash calling out Victor for trolling. Victor, of course, is Bambi, the retarded unicorn, captain of the team Bambi Rising. I believe he used to go by Chiyu, the retarded mermaid. Didn't have mana for mech as well. Yeah, that wasn't an effect that we pointed out. Had enough mana for himself later on when he was being dove upon by the Pandarean Brewmaster. But other than that, we see Luna's gone for that Midas again. Do you think he'll be punished this game?
It actually could be, because I think TYK are not behind like they were last game from the laning phase. The laning phase actually went pretty well because the Batrider fed the Tri-Lane a lot of kills.
Yeah, a lot of misplays coming out from that Batrider. He does have his blink dagger, so he can finally start getting those sky hooks in. But a lot of gold going in terms of that Sven. Looks like he's going for that armlet as his first pickup. Great pickup on that Sven. Armlet's a really cost-efficient DPS item for a strength hero, and with that gold strength, since it gives him 25 strength, it gives him a lot more damage for that as well. Rubick hanging around, goes in for that spell steal, steals a war cry. Unfortunately, he wanted that Stormbolt, but he'll be happy with that, I suppose. Drums picked up on the Dragon Knight. He most likely will be wanting to go for something like that Shadow Blade. Good mid-game pickup, especially if he can pick up in the next 8 or so minutes. Other than that, what other item options are there for that Dragon Knight?
I think he should probably just go straight for a BKB.
Okay, so he should just go for that early fight build, especially with that level 2 EDF coming up.
I think so, because you need to ignore the Sven stun and the Mirana spells and the Pandarean spells.
Do you think it's still worth it for Brewmaster to go for the Aghanim sceptre, especially with that recent change, so each of his Brewlings now get abilities? Or do you think it's better if he goes for more teamfight items like Vladimir's offering, like a Shiva's?
I think sceptre is really powerful if he can micro it correctly.
Yeah, because you can open fights with that double clap. So that always is a... Yeah, that's definitely true. Looks like a tier 1 at the bottom lane for a tier 1 at the mid lane. Luna's hanging around the top trying to draw them back. Batrider's blinking in. He has his blink, goes in for the Bane Elemental. Aphotic Shield's thrown out. Bit unfortunate. That's that power of that Abbadon right there. It's slept up.
That's a really good counter to Batrider, that Aphotic Shield.
Yeah, until he picks up a Force Staff, there isn't all too much he could do against that. Do you think he should have gone for that Abbadon instead, recognizing that he could always Aphotic Shield the Bane?
Maybe.
Rubick has slept. Arrow flies out, hits him. Batrider blinks him, but doesn't have his lasso. Is called out by the Fiend's Grip. Eclipse is thrown out. Hand of Gold thrown out. Batrider goes down. Abbadon pops borrowed time, so he should be fine. Panda comes in, goes in with a clap. Gives Luna Syphilis, is beating her down. Looks like she's going down. There's no way she could get out of this one. Might turn to try to get a trade-off kill over the Abbadon, but gets juked out. Great kills coming out from TYK. That was a 4-for-0 fight, showing off that power of the Abbadon and his ability to sustain team fights, as well as that rotation coming out from the Brewmaster over in the bottom lane. Sven is able to keep farming this entire time, so he's picked up his armlet. Brewmaster's picked up his blink dagger from that. So TYK's ganking power just got that much better.
This Dragon Knight needs to be holding a TP. He wasn't holding a TP and he didn't TP there, so there was a 4v5 fight, and as a result his team just basically got wiped for free.
Yeah, if he was able to come in with that Flame Breath, with that level 2 EDF, he would have done a lot more work. He's picked up a Helm of Iron Will. Do you think he's going for a Helm of the Dominator for that one, or do you think it's an armlet? I mean, I know it's a unconventional item build on that Dragon Knight, but it has been seen before in the past.
Is under attack. Oh, that's got to hurt.
I think both are quite not good choices. Maybe probably the Helm of the Dominator is probably a better choice if you want to go greedy and stack for the
Dire's bottom tower doesn't even have arms to defend itself.
I mean, I really feel he could have gone BKB first.
Yeah, I'm a bit unsure with the Helm of Iron Will pickup. I mean, he already has fantastic HP regen and armor from Dragon's Blood. He really just needs raw HP. And having that magic immunity from that BKB would help his team out a lot more than him just being able to do a little bit more right-click damage. I guess if he goes for that greedy build and starts stacking creeps, it could potentially turn around.
Yeah, basically I think now Bambi Rising have to try to maybe take the remaining outer towers and then just hold up looking for the Luna to carry them, because
We have Blink Lasso combination coming out, Lucent Beam, level 2 EDF, hold that Dragon Tail. Bane doesn't stand a chance, he goes to pieces, and that looks like a tier 2 push coming in. We see the players from TYK already TPing in. Abbadon's hanging out. He's chosen to max out Curse of Avernus over that Mistcoil. It's actually very questionable he's chosen to do this, as Curse of Avernus scales very well, as Mistcoil doesn't as well, and I mean, since they don't have a mechanism, Mistcoil's a 250 heal every 6 seconds that you can throw out to your teammates. Could be a huge difference maker. Dragon Knight called out with that arrow, with that double star storm, with that storm ball. Brewlings have been popped. Hits that clap. Rubick stole Sven's gold strand. Bambi the retired unicorn's called out of position. Hit by that rock. And he goes down to Sven, hitting him. Hand of gold thrown out a bit too late. Fiend's grip over in Rubick. This is a very messy fight coming out for the players of Bambi Rising. Excellent arrow initiation from that Mirana. And yeah.
I think that was a mistake from Dragon Knight. Like he shouldn't be standing here. I think he didn't realize the two-way back and he was standing there hitting the tower for a bit too long.
Yeah, he was way too far forward. The rest of his team wasn't really there to back him up either. Bit of a misplay. And TYK were able to capitalize on that. We've got that armlet picked up on the Sven. Most likely we'll be going for that BKB pickup now. What are your thoughts on Blink on Sven? I know this is something that used to be picked up a lot just as a way to close the gap.
That's an item I haven't seen on Sven in years.
Yeah, it used to be pretty common back in Dota 1 days.
Yeah.
But, I mean, with that recent mana cost reduction on Blink Dagger, do you think it could be a viable pickup on the carry Sven?
I think they have enough initiation with Brewmaster and Bane. I think it could be fine to just make more damage items.
Because Sven's biggest drawback
against the Luna later.
Yeah, as a carry, it's just the fact that he's very slow. Beyond that movement speed buff he gets from the Warcry, he needs some sort of mobility item just to get in place to whack him down. He's got that Storm Bolt, but other than that, he's got no real way to lock people in place. One of the biggest drawbacks of melee carries is just the fact they have low time on target, the amount of time they spend hitting their target just because they have to get right up close and personal, compared to someone like the Mirana who has 600 of range as well as that leap. She's got an excellent time on target as she could always choose to hit them, disengage, use that leap to chase them down. Went for that secondary point and leap instead of a third point and arrow. I mean, with that recent change to leap providing the attack speed buff, as well as providing that buff from where you leap instead of where you land, bit interesting.
I think it's actually probably like a misclick or something. I think he should make the arrow.
Yeah, that could be true as well. We see he's gone for treads. I know that a lot of Mirana players, they only go treads if they intend to bottle crew, otherwise the phase boots is usually the superior pickup, as it gives you a lot more chasing power and a lot more damage. Personally, what are your opinions on the Mirana going for treads instead of phase?
Treads is superior DPS wise, so I think maybe they're concerned about lacking DPS in the late game against the Luna.
That's definitely true. I mean, they're using that Brewmaster to create space in the early game. Strike the fair into them. They've got that Abbadon to also help them dominate the early to mid game, but once that late game kicks around, making sure they have that insurance against that Luna, and your fellow teammate Flash saying that's lonely casting by himself. Blink out from the Batrider, fishing arrow. Misses but provides vision for that Sven for that Storm Bolt, and looks like he's going to go down. Oh, a bit of a misplay from that Brewmaster. He's called out the Fiend's Grip at the edge of the map. I actually can't see him right now, but he should go down for that Fiend Grip damage. Mujrim, and a bit of smack talk coming up from Abbadon. Mujrim had played a fantastic offlane Centaur War Runner, hasn't been having a great game as a Batrider. I guess it's the triple stun combination coming out with that Sven, with that arrow, with that Fiend's Grip coming out from the Bane. Looks like a free turn 1 tower. Fortification wasted, just about a little bit more time. But yeah, there we go. Mirana gets that last hit.
Luna's actually getting a lot of farming. He's nearly finished BKB.
Oh wow, once she picks up that BKB, she'll be able to start that Death Ball push with that Eclipse. In terms of net worth, we see that Luna's leading the board, but the next two, almost identical to her, is that Brewmaster and that Sven. They're doing very well for themselves. Looks like they're grouping up for a push. No, never mind. Radiant side wisely decides to back on out. Abbadon's hanging out at the front. He knows that with that borrowed time, doesn't matter if they initiate him, he's always got that get out of jail free card. Hasn't built much of his mech, he's just got that medallion, and there we go, he's picked up his mech. Has that extra blades of attack. What do you think they'll be building towards?
Sorry, I'm with you.
We see a bit of ancient stacking happening over by the Dire Ancients. Abbadon has a haste range called out, dodges the arrows, called out by that. Never mind, we've got BKB into Eclipse, Stormbolt flies out, stolen, borrowed time procs, Hand of God thrown out, bit early, 1 for nothing, but you had to blow that 10-second BKB, as well as that Eclipse, and the Hand of God, and the EDF. Very costly, just for a kill on that 5-position Bane Elemental. Batrider hanging around, he still wants to get somebody. He sees Sven. Backs out, recognizing that Abbadon's hanging around for that Aphotic Shield. It is actually a bit too far forward. Abbadon is just beating him down. Wow, those extra points in Curse of Avernus doing work. With that Blades of Attack pickup, he could go for, I guess, the only items I could think of that you can build with the Blades of Attack is that Armlet, is that Chrysalis. So we could be seeing a carrier bet. EDF, Lasso over on Sven, dragging him up into the high ground, never mind, wasn't unfortunate, unable to drag him up. DK eats an arrow to the face, his EDF just ward off, eats the Starstorm, goes down to the Sven. Chen is caught up by the Bruling Cyclone. Batrider moseying his way through, but nothing he can really do there. TYK dominating, he's pulled out by Chen, but Luna's cycloned up, she's going to go down. She's caught way out of position, beaten on by all 4 heroes. Great play coming out from TYK. That Pandarean Brewmaster is creating so much space in these fights. He's isolating the correct target with the Cyclone, he's ensuring that the Sven has more than enough time to beat down the right targets. The lockdown coming out, and with that Abbadon able to use that Aphotic Shield to keep his teammates alive, as well as doing a respectable amount of DPS with that Curse of Avernus. We did question TYK, saying that they were playing last year's meta, but looks like in game number 2 they're really turning around, showing us that they can play what's the current meta. In terms of gold lead, 2,000 lead for TYK. Turning it back around for after that early lead from Bambi Rising. In terms of EXP, 5k lead for TYK. How do you think Bambi Rising can turn this around right now, Yoshi?
They really need a turtle and play safer and really just get items on Luna because I mean that's all they can hope for, but I don't think TYK's late game is that bad either with the Sven and Mirana there.
We see Helmet the Dominant to pick up by Dragon Knight, so going for a very greedy farming sort of item. He's using it right now to clear out the Ancients. Would like to see a BKB on him. I guess with the amount of gold he can create from farming these Ancients, he could do that. Sven has picked up his BKB. Luna had to pop her 10-second BKB in that earlier fight. Was very unfortunate. TYK wisely backed out, waited for the BKB to wear off, and then went back in once they knew the BKB and the Eclipse were down. Looks like a little bit of dissension in the ranks happening with Flash and Snow. And it looks like Snow's right next to you casting, so a clash of the sounds. Aghanim Sceptre.
Just sitting opposite me, so.
Alright, Aghanim Sceptre picked up on the Brewmaster. Huge teamfight item. Looks like TYK should really go in for those pushes right now. They've got all their ultimates up. They have that BK, that fresh 10-second BKB. EDF is down. Dragon Knight had to use it at the farm, so he won't have that in the fight. Huge difference, that means that he'll only have that 150 range Dragon Tail, so that 400 range for that EDF level 2. But maybe his ult will be off cooldown by then. We've got Brewmaster with that invisibility rune hanging around the side. He's waiting for an opportunity to go in, blink, clap, throw out that ult, clap again. Rain absolute havoc in these fights. If he gets that double clap off, that's almost all of Rubick's life. He could go down almost instantly. Chen hanging around the back. He only has one pre. Centaur tanks the arrow to the face. Good bodyguarding there. And Batrider has his blink and his 4-staff combination, so he's got that skyhook, blink in, lasso summon, 4-staff yourself out. So you can use that to counteract the Abbadon. But if his Abbadon's on point, which he has been so far, he could always interrupt that. Luna's a bit too far forward, is seen out by TYK.Pandy. Chooses not to initiate on him. Luna looks like he's going for the Helmet Dominant as well, going for that greedy farming item once again. Trying to help Turtle get a bit more speed. BKB popped, unsure by who was that?
I feel sad
By
for
the
them.
Luna.
Ah.
The Bane scared him off. The Bane was actually showing his face here, and then the Luna just got scared and popped his BKB.
Right, Bambi Rising need a retreat right now. They don't have that BKB. There's no way they can fight this. Rubick gets a spell steal. She steals the arrow, throws the arrow right back out, misses, provides a bit of vision. There is no way Bambi Rising can defend this right now until that BKB is off cooldown. We got that blink in, blink clap, but good blink out from the Batrider, juking out the clap. He doesn't want Syphilis, he wants to be SDI free. And looks like they're going to take a free tower. Sven's just beating down the tower with that Aegis, with that BKB, and God Strength. Nothing can do against that. Could potentially be pushing up the high ground. Luna's deciding wisely that she can't fight. Her team can't fight right now with that BKB down, so she's just going to do a bit of split, pushing off from the side, get a bit more farm. Has that TP on cooldown. Arrow? Oh, never mind, that was just a right click. So flies out, hits Abbadon in the face. But he's fine with that. He knows that if they do initiate on him, he's got that borrowed time. Bane Elemental having an item flying out for her. That's that Warcry coming out, giving Crips a bit more armor. Blink out from the bat, wasn't able to get a lasso off in time, eats a Stormbolt to the face. Bit unfortunate, if he grabbed that Bane Elemental there, that could have been the start of a fight. Luna's pushing over in the bottom lane, in the top lane.
About time.
With
Structures are fortified. Don't
Tom Young-kun not responding to the split push. Blink clap, followed by that secondary clap
That's not good.
with that Brewmaster ult. Fiend's Grip wasted, but Rubick is thrown up in the air. BKB popped up by Luna. She throws out the Eclipse. She's going to get a kill over on the Bane. Borrow Time popped off. Mirana ult flies out. Sven's being kited out by the Luna. Brewling goes down. Dragon Knight catches out Pandy. He's caught way too far behind the main lines. Looks like he's going to go down. Good plays coming up. Batrider blinks on top. Gets that lasso off on Sven. Sven's going to go down. That's that Aegis first one popped off. Great defensive play coming off from Bambi Rising. Sven's going to be caught out completely on his own. Goes for that TB. Cancelled by the Lucent Beam as well as that Flame Break. Caught out the Firefly. Eats that Dragon Tail to the face. Finished off with that Stormbolt from the Rubick. Fantastic play coming out from Bambi Rising. Did any of them go down during that fight?
I don't think so. I think that was a really big overextension by TYK. I think they should have defended the split pushing and, you know, taken, like, maybe push this lane out a bit more as well before regrouping or pushing one of the tier 2 talismans. I don't know why they wanted to force the high ground at this time.
Yeah, that was 3 for nothing. Wow, that was a fantastic fight coming out from Bambi Rising.
As well.
Yeah, that's 4 kills, essentially. And that looks like a free tattoo push. I mean, they do have Brewmaster and Sven respawning in a bit, but Brewmaster's ult is down. Never mind, they're choosing the back out. They're playing it safe. In terms of EXP shift, 2,500 EXP lead in favor of the Radiant side. Shifted from about 7,000 earlier. That was all from that fight. In terms of gold, we see a little bit of a dip happening in the gold graph. Great game so far, a lot of back and forth action. TYK as well as Bambi Rising showing off their skills, showing their high level of Dota coming out. Vladimir's offering picked up on the Abbadon. Great pickup on him as it gives +5 armor to his entire team, as well as that extra bit of damage and mana regeneration. What do you think the Brewmaster will be going for now that he has his Aghanim sceptre?
Perhaps the Shiva's God would be okay.
Yeah, I mean, during that old aura still proc, so you want to stack as many auras as you can.
I think alternatively maybe a sheet stick because, yeah, they need something to deal with the Luna and the Lake game.
Ah, so you can blink in, get that sheep, get that clap, get the double clap off, and then focus down during that sheep. Yeah, that could also work really well. I mean, sheep stick's a good pickup on pretty much anyone. Having that 3.5 second hex that disables evasion, always very handy. Especially since Luna most likely will be picking up that butterfly later on in the game. She's currently sitting at about 2.4k. Looks like this tattoo tower is going to go down for free. No defense coming up from Bambi Rising. And yeah, Mirana with that Manta style, starting to output a lot of damage. Good point coming up from Flash. He will have his BKB up in about 400 more gold.
He really needed that BKB earlier.
Yeah, really greedy item pickup with that Helmet of Dominator. Bit of a pity as 5,200 dead. Bambi's played a great Invoker game in game number 1. Showed a lot of awareness in both the map, tactically and strategically.
The Luna has Helmet of Dominator now. Like, I don't think he should have made Helmet of Dominator on Luna actually.
Yeah, he could have gone for that Yasha pickup, maybe work towards a Manta style to help out with that split push, especially when he's out in the zone like that. BKB.
Would have been quite good, or even just straight butterfly, you know.
Yeah, BKB finally picked up on Dragon Knight, so he's got that fresh 10-second BKB. Luna's only about 8 seconds now. Smoke Gank coming out. Haven't really seen too many send back to bases from Chen. He had one over on Rubick earlier in one of those fights, but beyond that, nothing too much. Blink Lasso with that 4-star. Mirana ulti is thrown out. Abbadon looks like there's no vision. No, never mind, they see him. He's going to go down. Rubick. Oh, Batrider's called out with that Fiend's Grip. Rubick 4-stars himself away. Blink Clap, coupled with the Brewlings. BKB pop, but he decides to TP out. He has no way to get out of that. And Chen forced to buy back. Very costly fight for Bambi Rising. They blew their 10-second BKB on that DK. He wasn't really able to accomplish all too much. Bit of a bad pick-off choice on the Batrider choosing to go in the Abbadon, especially as he knew that he had that borrowed time. And his borrowed time didn't even proc during that. So he has that. That looks like a tier 3 and maybe a Rax coming up for TYK. Dragon Knight eats the arrow to the face. Sitting there in his corner of shame. Throws out the Breed Fire, but nothing else he could really do. Free middle Rex for TYK. Great turnaround coming up from them. We had an excellent defense coming out from Bambi Rising earlier, but Looks like they can't really do anything right now. Is that Stormbolt? Arrow with the sleep. Unfortunately, he is pulled back out by Chen. But a bit of miscommunication there. The first second of Bane's sleep makes you invulnerable for that 1 second. Full stuff up from Rubick. He wants to get a lift. Never mind. And that's a Rax for nothing. Looks like they're going for that tier 2 over the top lane. Bambi Rising really can't defend this. It looks like they'll have to defend over at the high ground. Do you think there's a chance for Bambi to turn this around in this? Or do you think at this point it's too far?
I think because Luna like have the dominator too, like the damage out of like butterfly or Manta, I think it would be really, really hard. Unless TYK kind of like lit the pressure up or throw the game somehow. I think it would be quite difficult.
Yeah, this Abbadon pickup's really done a hell of a lot of work for them. Was questioning their only 1 point in miscore earlier, choosing to max that Curse of Avernus, but we did see in those early engagements he was able to actually output a lot of damage. And with that Vladimir's offering, one of the advantages of the Abbadon is that he could go toe-to-toe against your support heroes and drive them back, since he has that borrowed time, so that's always that get out jail free card, as well as that aphotic shield. The fact that he could always purge off stuns as well as any other form of CC makes him very powerful.
The Radiant should really do something about that middle tower.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Luna doing a bit of split pushing. She could get that tattoo for free. TYK is not really... There we go. They've got 1 TP coming out from the Abbadon. But Luna isn't all too afraid of that. TP's out. Batrider caught a bit of a position. Blink dodges the Sven Stormbolt coming out.
Bottom tower has seen better days.
Looks like Sven's building towards that Daedalus. Going for those huge crits. And Brewmaster, that Hyperstone, looks like he's going for that Assault Cuirass pickup. Great pickup, especially in synergy with that Sven, as well as that Mirana. As Mirana looks like she's going for that Desolator. That negative 12 armor coming out from the Radiant side really hurts. Makes Sven's damage do a hell of a lot more damage. And yeah, not an awful lot of... Yeah, Panda's going for that AC. He's got that Hyperstone. I mean, he could go for that Molnir if he wanted to troll us, but most likely we'll be seeing that AC. So his Earth Panda does emit his aura when he's in old form. Batrider's items hasn't really progressed ever since he picked up his Blink and Force. Same with that Dragonite, ever since he's picked up that BKB. Nada on him. Luna went for that greedy Helmet Dominator pickup. Items haven't really progressed all too much. Rubick's got that 4-star, but that's about it. Bane Elemental has a Blink Dagger now, as well as that Drum. Gives him excellent mobility in his fights and great pick-off power. Mirana's almost gone off, and we have a Cranium Basher coming up from that Abbadon. Carry Abbadon's coming out. Hide your kids, hide your wife, because he's bashing everybody out there. And Bambi Rising's forced to... Yeah, I mean, Bambi Rising can defend quite successfully. We've seen that power coming out if TYK overextends. But TYK is more than happy just to camp outside their base, wait for Bambi Rising to perhaps move outside where they have vision of them. And there you go, recognition from Flash. Sometimes I ask myself the exact same thing. And Boots of Travel picked up by the Batrider, so he's able to use that to get a bit of split pushing going on. Flash complaining about how lonely it is. I'll see if I can get a co-cut with him as a co-caster for another game. Get a few more of the boys from Blink. And Demonic Lord Satan is doing the Japanese cast, I think it is. Saying that you should be fine. People are listening to you in theory.
Oh.
Arrow. Over on DK.
There's no creeps.
Yeah.
There's no creeps.
Chen.
I'm wondering maybe they should like smoke and go around the middle like this.
Yeah, they can always go for that backstab. I mean, once Dragon Knight gets that level 3 EDF, their teamfight power does go up since he has that free Eye Ascati. But beyond that, it looks like another arrow flies out, misses this time. Huge stalemate coming out. And yeah, Mirana's just picked up her Desolation. She's got it flying out to her on the courier. Great item pickup on her, really helps mitigate her low base damage. Luna's getting a decent amount of farm though. At this rate, she will have a Mantis-Tail up in a little bit. Well, I mean, she's about 2.5k. Oh, Blink Lasso, never mind, is interrupted. Bambi the Retired Unicorn called out by sleep. And Just casual push over in the top lane. Without that lasso, with that Desolator up, TYK know they're in the commanding lead of the game. Blink clap into Brewling split. Dragon Knight pops his EDF, throws out that Dragon Tail over on Bane. Great recognition for him, but it's called out by that Fiend's Grip. Borrowed time popping off over from the Abbadon. From all that splash damage flying out. Luna is called out of position. She should be fine. Never mind, she eats that secondary clap and goes down to that Brain Sap. Rubick's thrown up into the air with that Cyclone. He has 4 staff, so he should be, never mind. He's called out by sleep, self-sleep by him. Goes down to the miscoil. Abbadon goes down. I think that's one of his few deaths he's had this game. Luna is forced to buy back. She goes and throws out that Lucent Beam. Last hit from the Dragon Knight, gets that kill. Blink out from the Brewmaster. Secondary Rex for a few kills. Looks like the noose is tightening on Bambi Rising.
Yeah, 2 lane Rex is really hard to come back from, I think.
Especially with all the tier 2s up on all 3 lanes, there's no real way for them to be able to, unless if they happen to get a 5-man wipe, they'll be able to do a bit of a push over in the middle lane, but with that tier 2 still up, really delays their push. Buybacks will be happening over on the Radiant side, and as you can see in terms of net worth as well, dramatic lead on all 3 cores of TYK. That Sven is leading the way at 15k, Brewmaster 14, and Mirana is doing a decent amount as well, over at 13k as well. Going in for the Roshan kill. Roshan is respawned as well as a haste rune in the bottom lane. No way Bambi Rising can really choose to contest this. I mean, Chen doesn't even have any creeps, for Christ's sake. He's forced to convert some of the super creeps that are coming his way. The passive Chen play really didn't help him out too much. They could have gone for more death ball pushes. Looks like they might be smoke ganking to go into Roshan. 3.2. Yeah, you're right. Chen isn't moving.
Okay.
Using Firefly to clear out trees, just to give them a bit of flying vision over that area. They're going for the clear out that stack. Surprised that TYK hasn't sorted out that stack. Goes in over on the Brewmaster. He's got out that lasso. Luna's actually eating a lot of damage. Luna's going to go down to the neutrals. Level 3 EDF as well as that BKB. Self-sleep. Arrow flies out. Gonna hit Batrunner right in the face. Called out with that penitence, and he's going to go down to that EDF. Bit of a misplay coming up from Bambi Rising. Then Luna tanked all of that damage coming up from the Ancient Creeps and went down. Dragon Knight has picked up that Chrysalis. So with that level 3 EDF, with that free Iascati and the free splash damage, having that crit does help out a lot, but it could be too little too late. Sacrificing that...
If hadn't died there, I think that would have been a really, really good play.
Yeah, that would have been an excellent trade, but it turns out the Ancient Creeps weren't too happy. They weren't having any of that. They decided to smack her down.
I think that they actually, the way they're taking the creeps is wrong. They need to like hit them here, and then they need to walk here and hit them from the high ground.
Yeah, definitely. You never want to tank damage if you can avoid it, so you always want to leash him back. Rely on that creep aggro. And that range creep, that Chen stole, is getting beaten down, eats a Storm Bolt to the face. And Sven has his Daedalus. So we're waiting for those huge Dendy level crits, one-shotting the entire team. It's a pity we don't have a Magnus on the side. Over in terms of Golden EXP, about 5,000 EXP lead. It is starting to close a bit, but EXP at this point is more or less, isn't too big of a deal. In terms of gold lead, 12k gold lead in favor of TYK. Is a bit of a dip. If Bambi Rising can do a few more successful defenses, maybe it can start to turn this around. But Luna looks like she's going for a MKB. She wants to deal with that Drunken Haze. Yeah, the Manta style gives you the exact same option, as you could use it to dispel that Drunken Haze. But that's the fact that we haven't been talking about these fights. Brewmaster has had fantastic micro. He's always made sure to get the double clap off. He's always made sure to get that Drunken Haze off on that Luna whenever her BKB is down. Significant reduction in DPS, but it looks like they're going for the throat right now. Bambi the Retarded Unicorn is called out with that sleep. Eats that miscall, double clap, about to fly out. Eclipse is thrown out, as well as that BKB. Never mind, BKB wasn't popped up. Lasso is thrown out on the Fire Panda. Batrunner isn't really being too effective. He's cycloned up. A Photic Shield over on the Abbadon. He's going toe-to-toe with that Luna. Sven beats down the Dragon Knight. BKB on none. Bambi the Retarded Unicorn runs back. Dragon Knight buys back, is immediately hit in the face with an arrow, regretting his decision immediately. Sven runs up to him, gets that huge crit cleave, eats a Storm Bolt, stolen from him by the Rubick. He's gone a bit too far forward, pops that armlet, kills the Chen, goes down. That's his Aegis pop. He's happy with that. In the back end, Batrunner kills Bane Elemental, but goes down to the Thunderclap from the Brewmaster, and GG is called. 41 minutes and 38 seconds, we have GG. I think this is the first draw I've casted in the ODL Season 1.
I think so.
Great play coming out from TYK as well as Bambi Rising. We'll be uploading the votes tomorrow. I've got to cast a few more games at 6 and 8 o'clock tonight. Thank you for watching. At 6 o'clock tonight, we have the 4 Horsemen of the Ruckus up against Team TYK, and at 8 o'clock, 4 Horsemen of the Ruckus up against Psychos. So thanks for watching. 49 signing out.